And we're live.
I saw a couple people tweeting about this incel terrorist, the guy who ran that truck or van or whatever in Toronto recently. And an incel is someone, it stands for involuntarily celibate, which means like they want to get laid, but they can't. And so
sounds so euphemistic, but all right, sure.
That's what they're calling it. And,
Sure.
And that's what this community calls themselves. And so I saw a bunch of people talking today on Twitter like, oh, this is like a new threat of thing we need to be on the lookout for, this like incel terrorism. It's like, first of all, probably not. You know,
Kidding me? I actually think I would agree with that 100%, not from a terrorist point of view, but just like these are literally like men who like want to get fucking laid and can't and are super obsessed with it. Like, you haven't encountered people like this in life?
Oh no, there are people like that. Sure, I was just like taking the stretch of like most of those guys are just sad and lonely. Like they're not gonna go hurt anybody. Like they're just gonna be sad and lonely. But clearly, some of them get upset enough. But
my wife
just says many have in the past. Yeah, I don't doubt many have, but I mean many times more lonely guys just are sad.
And I might be wrong, but I thought that these were the most harmless people on earth.
Really?
Oh God,
not my take at all.
No, they're scary individuals.
You're winning me over.
No, these are like those self-professed, I don't know, allies.
They have a ton of resentment towards women. Like,
so yeah, exactly. Yes, they do. And my wife is a super sweet girl, just really nice girl, super sociable, like really conscientious girl. Tries very hard to make people feel welcome and at ease and whatnot. And we had an associate of ours, like someone we knew in life, who was an incel basically, and like her and she would like respond to his texts and stuff, and we were friends, and he would do shit like drop her like 60 text messages in the course of an hour style shit. And like I had to step in with this guy and just be like, look, you need to back the fuck off and leave her alone, because she was to the point where she was like hiding her phone so she wouldn't have to see this shit and like deal with those kind of messages. Because for him, he wants to get fucking laid. Any female attention is super positive in his mind. He doesn't understand boundaries about this, doesn't get what's acceptable and what isn't and what's normal and not, because he's just so focused on this type of behavior. And that was very interesting to me in the sense of like very eye-opening to be like, he means well, he's a reasonably nice guy, but he is so fucking desperate in this scenario. And for him, it came out in anger. Like he would have like angry episodes and bursts about this, about like, you know, how women treated him, his inability to, he was obsessed with getting laid. His inability to do that was such a huge problem for him, such a big thing in his life, and it was everything for him.
They're often angry at women because of their choice of what they view as inferior men. You know, like, she chooses this kind of guy who's just going to use her. When if she was with me, she would be my princess, my queen. I would do this, and that for her.
Mm.
These guys need to get themselves a prostitute. That is the quick and easy answer to
I actually 100% agree with that. Like,
that
he's just gotten fucking late a couple of times. He could have, I mean.
Kyle needs to run for office.
He's got my vote.
The guy solves problems.
I think I could do that as a pimp. Like that.
You say tomato, I say tomato.
I think Kyle's totally right. That like, if like, who's to say that if that guy like was able to get a prostitute or something, that he wouldn't have been such a fucking insane maniac and like been still harboring all that resentment, you know? Because I feel like most of these guys, like, and another bad thing about it is there are like online communities of these people who like, you know how communities go, like, especially if they're like based on something negative or self-defeating, like they spiral, where it's like, I'm so worthless, I can't compete because I'm so worthless, I can't compete because, and everybody just, it's like crabs in a bucket. Everybody's dragging themselves down. And so they take like normal interactions with women or what the really damaging part I think about these communities is like, everybody's like sad about it. And like maybe a guy who's like 19 or something, who's still too young to even like be in a boat like that. He just hasn't gotten laid yet. He's like, oh, all my friends are getting laid and I'm not. He goes to this online community, and then instead of being on a path to fix himself and improve, he like gets sucked into that bucket, you know, and then he's that guy who's just, now I hate women too. Yeah, it's not that I just maybe I've had bad luck, or I'm not, doing whatever I need to do to improve myself, or I'm aiming solely way out of my league. It's that there's a cabal of women who are using sex like tokens, and Chad gets all the tokens. I don't get any tokens, and it's like, and you just get dragged down and down and down, and over the time, like that probably. Like that cannot be a healthy place for young.
I love that whole
like,
Chad thing.
Hanging out. Oh yeah, like that's like one of my favorite memes, like the virgin whatever versus the Chad.
Yeah, I love that.
That's a good one.
We've had a lot of conversations about sex over the course of the years that I've been on the show with you guys, and I think all of us agree it's a huge motivator for people. It's a huge force of like interest and time and commitment and everything else for people, right? It's just, it blows my mind that people wouldn't be thinking, like, let me rephrase that. The people who are obsessed with this and aren't getting it, it's a huge there's a huge vacuum in their life that is sucking in fucking energy for them to commit to this, and then this gets displayed in these really bizarre and kind of off-putting and sometimes aggressive or dangerous situations from that. Like that doesn't surprise me at all. So
you're right. Like, and some 19-year-old guy shows up, or 20-year-old guy, whatever, and instead of getting, oh, have you tried working out? Have you tried maybe go for a less attractive girl? You seem to really only be going for the 10 out of 10s.
Do you have $200?
Instead of that, he gets like, oh, a message from someone who's like, I'm 41, and let me tell you, buddy, it doesn't get any better ever. It's always terrible, and women are the worst, and they're just whores who only go for Chad. And it's like that can't be, it's not healthy.
A prostitute costs less than a PlayStation. I mean,
yeah, but some of it is not just the sex.
Not everywhere.
Sometimes it's the relationship. Like that's there too. Like this guy was like that. So
that's called the girlfriend experience, and that will cost you extra.
Extra? I thought it was just a choice. Porn star, girlfriend, 6 in one, half dozen in the other.
No, it's absolutely extra.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Got a whole wife.
It seems kind of maybe silly to be treating this as like a new group of potential terrorists.
I don't know if I go as far as terrorists, but I absolutely see these as I see these people as people who have issues, and these issues come out fucking fairly aggressively. From my
they're scary people. I feel like they'd be extra scary to a lady. Maybe not to us, because like, what are they going to do to us? Like maybe if they saw us as Chads and they went on a shooting rampage, that would be a little scary. But like, it's not like they're gonna gonna rape us or anything, which I feel like would be the fear.
Yeah, like my wife came back one time and she got dropped off by a mutual acquaintance from a bar. It wasn't far from where we lived, and she told me that the guy had said to her in the car, aren't you worried? Nothing could stop me right now from raping you.
Jesus Christ!
And I'm like, holy fuck, are you kidding me?
Fuck.
Like, you hear something like that, you're like,
who says that?
People, men, and I don't want to put it like, it's not like a gendered. Well, it's a little gendered in that fact, but it's like, again, I've never had an experience like that. I've never felt physically, sexually threatened in that way.
No.
Right? And no one has ever said anything like that to me. So it's just mind-boggling to me to hear that.
Jesus Christ! What
was her crime? She's a nice girl who tries to make people feel like comfortable in a social circumstance. That's her fucking crime. Like, fucked up.
Jesus Christ, that's terrifying.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, like, certainly she never goes near that fucking guy again. So
right?
Stuff, but at the same time, like, there was that moment. He's right in some sense, right? He's bigger than her, could have overpowered her. That's a fear that she gets to live with forever.
Yeah.
It's fucked up.
That's scary.
Oh,
anyways,
well,
don't mean to buzzkill that, but
now who's the Debbie Downer? Anyone know any children with polio we could talk about? No?
No.
I just typed in on Google incel comments to like try and find some. Most of them are coming up as like anti-incel, like people making fun of it. I haven't read this all the way through, but the name of the post was "Suicide Fuel for Asian Cells." Apparently, the most populous continent on the planet, Asian cells, a lot of them, I guess, in the U.S. This guy said. It was on, I think, an Elliot Rodger post. He was the guy who drove around and shot people in California, I believe, because he was also angry at women like a few years ago. This guy said, "I am used to this. They hate their genes, talking about Asians, and they will produce Elliot Rodgers. Asian females are the most despicable of all females. No other female throws their men under the bus like Asian females. If I ever get to the point of getting a child and it is a female, it is going straight into the garbage. Not providing Asian females for the white man, or I will condition her to hate the white man.
Nice. I love that.
Now that's someone you want reproducing. Yeah.
Finally someone telling the truth about how it really is, you know? That's refreshing right there.
I want to see this. I'm going to watch the summary version of this episode. Even though I was on it, I'm still watching it because I want to see. I want to see the actual what it presents as the reality versus the reality of having been here.
Yeah, I'm sure that they'll be kind and fair. Yeah, I think we can all see where he's coming from, though, right? It seems like Asian females oftentimes are not interested in Asian men, and I feel like Asian man is the bottom tier of like the dating pool, right? Like I think I guarantee it.
I mean, like as far as difficulty.
Yes, absolutely. If you're on Tinder and there's like, you know, easy, normal, hard, very hard, and impossible mode, Asian is very hard at least. It might be impossible mode. Asian men.
For what? For Asian men getting laid?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. He's saying that Asian men can't pick up girls.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely.
Not been my experience with hanging out with Asian men.
May I read another one of these incel comments I came across? This community's gone on Reddit, and so these are just like archives on Google Images. The post name was, "This amazing surgery in the near future could cure all incels." It says, "Just take a dog's brain and put it into a humanoid female's body. There, fixed. No more incels ever. I'm not talking about killing anyone. We wouldn't need to do that. Just clone their bodies at a young age and substitute the inferior female humanoid brain for a loving dog one. Or females who died of brain-related injuries. Maybe we could revive them with superior brains. Female humanoid bodies are very desirable, but it is their brains that ruin everything. They're stupid brains that only lust for chads. That are total hypocrites."
Does it really say that?
Yeah.
What is this chad meme? I don't know this
make
chad
them
meme.
heartless cunts without remorse. It's not like their brains end up contributing anything to society in a significant amount, because dumb cunts cause endless suffering and can never be satisfied. Can you feel the vitriol and the venom for like...
Oh, it's palpable.
It's palpable.
And I just wanted to be clear about what I was saying before. I meant Asian men have a hard time. Asian women are highly desired by anyone and everyone. It's the Asian man who gets stuck with the bill in the dating scene. It's the Asian man who has a hard time.
I don't know.
Like the way that they like see sex and everything is so removed from reality. Like this is a really short comment, but I think it really kind of elucidates the way a lot of them are thinking about sex. Males can't be raped. Sex is a resource controlled by females to be given to males they deem worthy. It's a purely positive experience. It's like talking about getting free money from someone as money rape or something. It's like they really do see it as just...
I've actually read literature talking about men being raped, which men apparently can perform fairly well. The men get it up fairly well for situations where they're being raped. Just FYI.
Yeah, you don't have to want a boner to get it. 8th grade, and 7th middle school taught me that.
Lots of women orgasm during rape.
Yeah.
Yeah, that doesn't make it not rape, but yeah, that's a good point.
Yep.
Taylor told me that one.
I've read that too.
I'm looking through trying to find more of these about Chad, because it is so funny that they're using this meme.
I don't know this fucking meme. What is this meme?
Chiz, can you link Filthy some Chad memes?
Even before the meme, Chad was just the captain of the high school football team. You know, Chad is the guy that all the girls want, the alpha, the good looking, everything goes his way type guy.
I see.
Yeah, he's an alpha male. The Chad is kind of an alpha male, like, and he's the guy that these incels feel is disproportionately getting all of the pussy.
These comments, they seem to hate Chad on the same level they hate women.
They do. Certainly.
Here's one of a guy taking apparent glee in abuse. He says, 2X is quickly becoming one of my favorite subreddits. I love all the stories of how girls go out and find a Chad to bring home to fuck. But once they are alone, surprise, surprise, Chad sexually abuses or rapes them. They all mention he was so sweet and charming and handsome. How could someone like him do this? Or the stories of how their Chad boyfriend smashed in their faces and they try to rationalize it because he's so handsome and sweet and he would never do it again. I honestly applaud all abusive Chads. Fuck those women. That tell us they can sense our misogyny, then go home with a wife beater just because he is handsome. For any incels having a bad day, go to 2X and their stories of abuse will cheer you up.
I forgot. Are we going darker or brighter after the last couple of topics? We're just it's just a straight decline. Okay.
I think this is like an interesting insular kind of community, and
so
it's clear the way they talk. Yeah.
I want this on like a continuum. So we had Total Biscuit's cancer. That's pretty nasty. Where is this relative to that, and where are we going?
Well, remember, we had a roller coaster. We had Total Biscuit, sad. Yeah. Superboy, happy.
Sure.
And then a little bit of pitter pattering, and now we're down to Chad and Stacy and Virgin memes, and
that's just like emotional. But I wanted to kind of see like the comparison.
Yeah, I feel like we bottomed out with the Total Biscuit cancer. That made me feel real bad.
Yeah, this isn't as sad as Total Biscuit, because Total Biscuit
could maybe be brought up by like shitting on this community a little bit.
Yeah, I hope so.
Yeah, okay, I'm with you.
Yeah, and we could always do that. You know, I'm just trying to find more interesting comments from them. But yeah, very, very damaging community for a vulnerable, sexually frustrated young man to stumble across.
Guys, if you're really, I guarantee there's someone listening to this right now who is an incel, right? Look, fly to Vegas. First of all, it's a lovely city in the desert, right? Lots of things to do there. If you don't like gambling, you don't have to do that. If you don't like the shows, you don't have to do that. But there's legalized prostitution outside the city limits. And for a couple $100, you can get this all taken care of. And once you have sex once, maybe you'll find that like all the pressure is relieved, both literally and figuratively. And so in future dealings with ladies, you'll be more confident going forward, you know, that once you know what the deal is, and it's not some huge precipice that you're on the edge of all of the time, and you're not sticking your foot in your mouth like an anti-Chad.
Let's also be clear that
an incel.
The life of like, okay, sex is a weird thing, because like when you're having it regularly, you're kind of like, how could I ever do without it? And then when you're without sex for a while, you're kind of like, your body, you don't really think of it quite as much. You might be like, yes, I want that again, and certainly that's a goal and aim. But like in that moment, you're not like, oh my God, this moment is like I'm reliving every sexual experience I've ever had and how good it was, and now this moment is so terrible because of it. It's not like that. It's like I feel like this emphasis on how important that is fairly kind of overrated. Like sex is great, don't get me wrong. I'm a big proponent of sex, but yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it feels like to me it's a lack of experience, not it's dictating that this is so important. This means I've failed in life in every way. Give it some fucking time, man. You'll be all right. There's other things going on in the world.
Some of these guys are 30. Some of these guys are 30. All right?
Some of them are, but they're doing the same thing that like they're like the polar opposite of the white knight, you know? Like they both groups are.
Although I feel like white knights are fucking doing. I feel like white knights in this group are not mutually exclusive. I think those are a lot of overlap there.
They both might be nice guys. I feel like the incels aren't like nice guys unless they're presenting themselves differently. But it's like the white knight kind of people, the nice guys, like they're putting pussy on a pedestal too. But these incel people, they're also putting it up there. They're just taking a different thing where they're not doing like the, oh, you're so smart and funny and you know, let me take you to dinner or whatever. They're not taking the approach of if I'm nice enough, I'll get enough sex coins to get laid. But
I saw this
they're taking the approach of it's like, oh, that pussy on the pedestal, that's unattainable. I may as well consign myself to a life of vitriol and anger and just, you know, fuck 50% of the population. What do they know? Like, I feel like most of these guys are just one genuine relationship, even not a sexual one, with a woman from realizing it's ridiculous when they kind of like realize like, oh, this big boogeyman of Chad crazed whores out there. Like that's not, you know, sure you'll see like some stuff like that.
Let's be honest. Let's be honest here. Let's not completely feed into the cabal. It's a little accurate, right? Like women do use sex as a form of currency that they dole out to those that they deem to be worthy.
I think that's too calculated for that. People are attracted to people. I'm attracted to people.
It's not necessarily calculated. It's a bit of like chemical, biological stuff going on, but the end result is the same.
Yeah, I mean, like, women do use sex to get things. That's known. But I think that they're taking that tidbit of knowledge and saying, "Oh, that's all they do. They're all just basically whores. They're all just sluts, and they'll only sleep with Chad." Like they're taking like a nugget of truth that, like, yeah, women use sex to get things. That's a known thing, and then they're pulling from that everything they want to see in it. And the worst thing to pull from it, the better, because then that kind of reassures them that, oh, I don't even have to participate in this fucked up world. I'll just be a man going my own way, or whatever that other movement is.
Yeah, there's so many. Reddit's an interesting place. You can find all of these. Everybody finds themselves a little box to hop in. It seems it's really fascinating.
That's the funny. I don't know anything about that.
It's
community.
like men going their own way or something.
Yeah, that's the name of it. But I don't know 100% like their ID. I've never
I want to say that their deal is they're like.
Actually, I'm gonna look it up.
They're like fuck pussy, but not literally. They're like they're just like we're gonna just go do our own thing. We're gonna try to succeed in the world without women being the driving thing that moves us on. And I think maybe they don't have sex.
All right, I'm going to one of their top. Okay, this seems kind of in line with the incel thing so far.
I remember a situation. Yeah, thanks. I remember a situation in college we had foreign exchange students in college, and there was a group of French foreign exchange students came over. And I had a French class, and it was fucking hard as shit. There was a lot of stupid memorization. So I had a French. I went and found a French tutor for this. One of those foreign exchange students was tutoring me. He was a dude and kind of cool guy, and like helped me with this shit. And I kind of got through that class at the grade I wanted because I had this access to this French tutor. But because of that, I was kind of exposed to his friends, and we hung out a couple times and did some poker games and stuff like this. And I hung out with some of the girls that were, because they were all over together from that. And those girls were, it was like, these people, the group we're talking about, like this, I think you're calling it Incels. I could see that so clearly with those girls, because there was a group of guys who were around those girls who were like helping them facilitate their experience in America. And these guys were totally out of their fucking league with these girls, relatively attractive girls, clearly fairly extroverted, out and engaging in like a whole different culture and wanted to see parts of America while they're over here and excited about it and fun people. And there'd be like these guys, and some of them were total fucking losers, like who were trying to use that to get laid, and like had done things like, bought her jewelry while she was over here, and we're gonna go with some of these girls on trips to various parts of the US to show them around. And I felt like that was such a clear, like, if you look at the different ways guys try to get laid, and guys try to get laid in a million different ways, this was one of the ones I thought was a very like clear application of this. It's basically like, okay, here's a girl who's not in any way interested in me whatsoever, and I don't really have any in with, but I'm going to use her lack of perfect English and lack of understanding about this country, and I'm going to do it from the kind of white knight kind of perspective of, I'm going to take care of her and help her with this shit, and use that as kind of like try to rack up sexual favor with that. I thought that was just like, it was so clearly obvious to anyone who paid any fucking attention in this moment that it just reminds me again of like the differences in that. Like, as a guy, I don't have that experience.
Yeah.
And it just blows my mind to some degree to see kind of the difference of what that is. Yeah, maybe there is some element of sexual exchange in there at some point, but it's like that is driven both ways, and the outcomes of that are pretty fucked up on both ways in that. Yeah. So I don't know.
Yeah, though there definitely is an aspect of sexual exchange, but like I was saying, like that these guys are taking, an anthill and turning it into a mountain. You know? So I don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking this community would be like the less crass version of the incels. And now I'm going through it, and the top one of all time is, I just linked it in there for you guys. What shocked you most about women? I will start. How merciless they are. They are so shallow and weak, but that little of mind they have, they use it to be as merciless as possible. What does that mean?
It means he didn't get laid.
It means he didn't
get
She said no.
That's right.
That's an expert opinion, Filthy. It means he didn't get it. Oh man.
Yeah. Chiz made a good point here in the side chat. He's like, stop what did you say? It's funny you tell that story. They're trying to pay for pussy indirectly. Stop beating around the bush.
But it's
literally.
worse than that. They're not even trying to pay for pussy. They're trying to. It's this like it's the idea of reciprocation here. They're trying to give something deliberately with strings attached to it, so that someone who doesn't know better accepts and then is obligated to them. That's the tilt they're taking on that.
Yeah, like I did you a favor. Now you owe me.
That's right.
Wait, what do I owe you?
Yeah.
No.
I bought you these expensive earrings that you said looked nice when we were in this random store on this trip that we took together that I'm only here on because I'm fucking obnoxiously stalking you. Now you owe me sex.
Yeah, I think a lot of these guys, they must be just going for like, 8 out of 10s plus, because ugly people have sex all the time. All the time. Two ugly people can go have sex, and so part of this has to be they're just aiming too high or something, or they're so in their own head about whatever perceived insecurity.
Why can't they just be shitty? Like at some level, some of these people sound just shitty.
Oh, I'm sure lots of them are, but there's also got to be some that are sucked in. Especially, I'm more talking about the young ones. The one you guys are talking about, where it's like, I'm 39 and women are all whores. Like, of course, that guy's that guy's a piece of shit. But did you find a good one, Kyle?
Oh no, I'm just laughing at your joke. It's funny. Yeah, no, I agree. There's definitely some young guys who may get caught up and confused by these
for sure
30s and 40-year-old incels and be like, oh, so that's just the way it is. It's like, no, like all right, fix yourself.
Let's do a brief public service thing then. What's minus like the direct transaction of money for sex, right? So what's like what that is your best way to get laid? Money for sex, go do that. That's easily accepted, right? That's easily taken care of. What is your best relationship advice? If you're looking to date, if you're looking to organically meet up with a girl and hit it off and do some sort of dating that may or may not result in sex, what's your best advice?
Tinder.
What would you throw out? Tinder.
You get on a dating website, you throw as much spaghetti against the dating scene wall as you possibly can, and something will stick. If you are a 4 out of 10 dude, look, fix yourself up as much as you can, right? Like work out, like get some acne cream, like get a haircut, find someone to help you buy some decent clothes, get a nice button up, some nice shoes, take some nice pictures of yourself where you don't look like a rapist. And not every guy is able to do that. I see so many fucking scary ass pictures of dudes on the internet, like where they're like trying to look like appealing
or something.
Yeah, and they come off as like scary as fuck. Don't pose with your goddamn stuffed animals or your weird ass hobbies. Like none of that shit.
Guns don't really do dating either.
Not for most chicks. Not for most chicks. I look, if I'm sending a picture to a girl, I've never sent a picture of a girl with me like, hi. No.
You're not 007. You're not
fucking 007. Like maybe if you get to know someone and you share some similar interest in like anything. It could be My Little Pony even. Like if maybe you're a brony and you find a chick who's into that weird ass shit too.